So for today's video, I thought I would do something a little different. As a lot of you know, I've been covering Easter eggs on Ghost Recon Wildlands since the game was released back in March. So in today's video, I thought I would pick my favorite top 5 Easter eggs within Wildlands, as well as tell you a little bit about each and every Easter egg. Now, like I said before, I have covered every single one of these Easter eggs, so if you guys want to find out more information on it, I will have a link to each and every video in the description down below, just in case if any of you do want to give a try to any of the Easter eggs that you see in this video. So like always, let's waste no more time and let's get right into the video. If you guys enjoy, don't forget to drop a like. So coming in at number 5 is one of the very first Easter eggs that we actually completed on the channel and as pretty much an entire community within Wildlands. Now the Easter egg that I am talking about, it is the 8 Pachamama Statue Easter egg. Now like I said before, this was one of the very first Easter eggs that we got done on the channel and pretty much as a community all together within Wildlands. I still remember the day that the shrine was found on the mountain of Inca Camina with the statue right in front of it, and you were able to pick up the statue. So that instantly started the hunt on having to find the other 7 statues that were split up throughout the entire Wildlands map. And sure enough, it took about 2 or 3 days and everyone ended up finding every single statue. Unfortunately, this is one of the only Easter eggs on the list that doesn't really have a reward. Till this day, the only thing that happens when you collect all 8 statues is kind of a party happens on top of the mountain. Now, since the finding of this over, 8-9 months ago, multiple other shrines of different color Pachamama statues have been found, but unfortunately, you are not able to pick up the colored statues that correspond for that shrine. So this is kind of one of those Easter eggs that's just a little confusing because there was no reward at the end of the day for finding all 8 of them, but it's interesting to see if there's going to be anything with this Easter egg maybe in the future. But that does it for my very first pick, and that is the Pachamama Statue Easter egg. Moving into number 4 is something that happened a little more recent, so I'm sure a lot of you are going to be more familiar with it, but that is the El Tío Mask Easter egg. Now this specific hunt plays a big role in my channel because I had actually had the video up about the statue months before the Easter egg had even been announced, and that is going to be the case with a couple of the other Easter eggs within this video. And honestly, I really love this Easter egg. I love how they structured it. I loved everything that they introduced. The rewards were absolutely amazing. The only downside to this Easter egg is that the fight is very underwhelming. You basically have to go through all of these processes on finding the individual statues found inside of each one of the caves. Along with that, in order to start it, you actually have to visit individual grave sites in order to be able to get the information and in order for the fanatics to actually spawn within the cave. And honestly, this Easter egg is more of just kind of walk here, walk there, do this, do that, and then finally make it to the very last boss, which is the El Tío boss. Shoot him one time in the head and that's it, you have unlocked the mask. So this was one of those Easter eggs that I feel like if they maybe would have put as much love as they did with per se the Yeti or the Predator, this would have been an absolutely amazing Easter egg. Not gonna say that it wasn't, because it really was. I love this Easter egg, and like I said before, I am absolutely in love with the rewards. But for those reasons that I stated before, that is the reason why this one is my number 4 pick. Like I said before, if you want to get your hands on any of these rewards, I will have the links on how to get them in the description below. But let's go ahead and move into number 3. Now, just like the El Tío Mask, this is the 3 Witches Easter egg. And honestly, this Easter egg has a giant place in my heart specifically, because I remember before this Easter egg came out, I was so concentrated on the 3 Witches hut. I was uploading video after video just telling people that there was definitely going to be something within this house, and everyone just continued to call me crazy. Everybody told me, you know, you're just trying to come up with ideas for videos now, blah blah blah. And sure enough, 2 or 3 months after I had uploaded those videos, the 3 Witches Easter egg was introduced, and the exact house that I had focused on for weeks and months, they actually went ahead and used it. So this is an Easter egg that has a giant place in my heart, just because I feel like I had a little tiny bit to do with it, even though it might not be true. But regardless, that is the 3 Witches Easter egg. Now we're gonna go ahead and move into number 2, which is the oh so popular Yeti Easter egg. Now, as a lot of you know, Ubisoft does add a Yeti Easter egg to pretty much all of their games. So the moment that Wildlands was released, we instantly knew that there was going to be some type of Yeti Easter egg within the game. So sure enough, every single person that was playing Wildlands was looking for this Yeti. Hands down, till this day, it is the biggest Easter egg hunting group I have ever seen in my entire life. The hunt for the Yeti ended up becoming so popular that they actually created its own subreddit just for the hunt. And honestly, this is my favorite Easter egg within the entire game. This is hands down, it would be my number 1. Let me rephrase that. It would be my number 1 if it wasn't for one specific thing, which I will talk about in a little bit. But everything about this was done just perfectly. They released out the challenge with barely any type of information whatsoever. So it was kind of our responsibility be to figure out where to start this challenge, as well as figuring out what were the steps for the summoning of El Yeti. And then that's kind of where it all started. We ended up finding the military disc, which was in the actual picture of the seasonal challenge. So then once we found the picture, then we ended up finding the location of where that picture was taken. Then we had to find an airplane that had Morse code. We had to translate the Morse code into coordinates, and we had to go to a cave, find a man that was holding a sign. It was honestly just so complicated that it made it actually fun. So at the end of the day, we had to find basically 3 different coordinates and then make our way to the center of the coordinates, where we were able to find the rock with blood that then summoned El Yeti. Now that leads me to the reason why I kind of was let down with this Easter egg. Once you do summon El Yeti, it turns out to not be a Yeti. It actually is a sniper that is just dressed within a Yeti costume. Now don't get me wrong, the fact that he can one-shot you was kind of cool, but the fact that we could one-shot him back was what made it a little boring for me. But regardless, the Yeti Hunt was one of the best Easter eggs I have ever seen within any game, and I honestly would love to see more Easter eggs come to Wildlands of that scale. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move into number 1 now. And I'm sure that at this point a lot of you have already guessed what number 1 is going to be, and that is indeed the Predator Easter egg. Now the reason why this was number 1 for me, not only was it number 1 because I got to experience it firsthand at the Ubisoft office, and I actually was a part of this whole release. That obviously plays a big role on why this is one of my favorite Easter eggs, but really the reason why this is my number 1 is just because of the difficulty of this Easter egg. And to be honest, that's kind of the only thing that I like about this Easter egg, just the difficulty of it, because honestly, one of the biggest things that I hate about this Easter egg is the fact that it was given to us in a silver platter. I don't really like the fact that they made it into kind of a mission. Now, of course, I do understand that this is a legend more than it is kind of an Easter egg, but just the way that this challenge was executed was done absolutely perfect. I honestly want to give a huge shout out right now to all the developers. You guys did an absolutely amazing job with the Predator, and I honestly love it. I mean, out of all the time that I've been doing all these Easter eggs, I've never had so many people comment on my videos saying, you know, Carbon, fuck this, I give up, I can't do it anymore. Or I've even read comments that even say, I've been doing this for 10 days now and I can't get it done, I just give up. And honestly, it sounds a little funny that those are my favorite comments, but it just means that they did such a good job with this. The point of an Easter egg, in my opinion, is so that you have to have a challenge, it has to be hard, and what makes it cool is that when a couple of months down the road, when nobody really knows about these Easter eggs and new players come around, they're gonna see you wearing those cool masks and they're gonna be like, well, yo, how did you get that? You know, that's the cool part of Easter eggs to me. Of course, other than the obvious challenge that comes with the Easter eggs. But anyways, that pretty much sums up my top 5 Easter eggs for Ghost Recon Wildlands. And honestly, I can't wait to make another top 5 of this throughout year 2 when we do see some more new Easter eggs come. With how much positivity was shown towards the Predator Easter egg, I honestly don't see why they wouldn't come out with another one very soon. I mean, honestly, if I had to make some type of guess, I would say that we're going to get some type of hint throughout the January update, but that's just kind of a guess. Maybe we won't see another Easter egg until the February update. But regardless, like always, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all types of Wildlands and Ghost Work content. Thank you guys so much for showing so much love to all of my videos and for always coming on these hunts with me and helping me out. Like I said, I can't wait to see what comes to the game in the future, and I really do hope that you guys stick around and join it with me. Thank you guys so much for always showing so much love, but like always, I will see you guys in the next video.